I was so tired last night, I I couldn't finish watching whatever there was to watch. Matter of fact, I don't care. So the exit interviews are not even available to watch. But basically, I was too tired to watch anything. I just fell right asleep as soon as I turned my live off. I had a 6 hour drive to get home, just to get home in time to watch the episode, to force myself to stay up, and then to be up after for a panel. That was tough, but I managed all that. So this morning, woke up in just enough time to be late for work. So here I am late for work, and I said, hey, I have the opportunity to jump on this live. But I said before I jump on the live, I want to watch a couple of exit interviews. I watched one, Ashley. Oh, first of all, shout out to Sharon Tharp. I make no secret about this. Um, of the approved CBS interviewers, she's one of the few that I like. And I have told her this to her face 2 times when I met her. So, I know that she still has to give approved questions, and especially when it comes to exit interviews, a lot of the questions overlap, they're the same, etc. Sometimes it's a bunch of the exact same questions, but she has a way of humanizing them more than some others and making them a little bit more interesting than all the rest of them that I usually see. So shout out to her. So she's the only one that I have watched any of her interviews. Oh, I watched one Mike Bloom interview. He's all right. Um, but yeah, I think through the press tour, I am going to be mostly focused on her exit interviews. So obviously, one thing I wanted to see in an exit interview, aside from game stuff, which I'm going to eventually get to, was to see what Vince and Morgan had to say about each other. So I hop on this interview that she did with Morgan, and she asked Morgan the obvious question, which is like, "What's up with you and Vince? How do you feel about the public perception? This and this." She said, "Oh, it was just game. It was just game only. He was my best friend in the house, and it was a strictly platonic game relationship." Now, I don't want to say that that's not true. I don't want to say that that's not true, but however, we saw what we saw. If this is a show without live feeds, then I'd probably go with it. Like, okay, this we, there's no live feeds, so we didn't see anything otherwise. So anything else is hearsay. But clearly, that night that they were in the bed, and he was professing his love to her in code, and even on the produced episode, they put the breakdown percentage of chance of love. She said it's not zero. I'm not saying that the game was not a part of it at all, but I am saying that it's not like her feelings are not a part of it at all. So I jumped over after I was done with this interview that she did with Sharon, and I jumped over to Vince's interview where Sharon let me down here because Sharon didn't even ask him the question. She was just like, I know you've been asked this a million times, so I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. I know you have a girlfriend. He was just like, yeah. I have a girlfriend, and Morgan was my best friend in the house, and I just gravitated towards her because in the house you don't have anyone else, and you get paranoid and you think everyone's lying to you. And that was one of the people, along with Lauren, that I didn't feel ever lied to me in the house. So we were close in the house. And then when Sharon was like, I don't know what you think of this, But what did you think about the fact that Kelsey was not there in the crowd, and he was like, "Oh, I think that you only get 2 tickets, right?" And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, since when? Maybe there's something I don't know, but since when did they have a 2 ticket rule? And even if they had a 2 ticket rule, you won 4 HOHs. So that was 4 opportunities for her to send picture. Oh, I think the first one. Yeah, I think the first one he got a picture or a couple pictures. I don't know. But the last three, I believe, and then the video from the family. Like, typically, the girlfriend of 7 years will be, if the video is not her alone, typically the video they will be with the family. So I didn't like that. This is the reason why I don't really like exit interviews so much. I liked Keanu's. I watched one of Keanu's exit interviews and I actually liked his exit interview. But typically, I don't like exit interviews because I don't think that they're truthful, and I mean, they're just coming out of the house, so they're worried about their public perception and the way they answer questions. We'll find out down the pipeline probably via Twitter and TikTok, stuff that they do by themselves, and how tiring it all is. How tiring it all is. Hey Ed, I'm about to watch the episode now that I'm home. I hear that it's epic. Well, maybe the way it turned out, might have been epic. For me, the format of the finale episode was not good. Like, the majority of the episode was showing parts 1 and 2 because it's like, oh, we're gonna make this in 2 hours. Okay, so don't make it not like nothing really happened until the last 20 minutes of the episode. When I looked at the clock, when they started asking questions about when the people who were evicted before jury, when they started asking them questions, I looked at the clock and it was 10:07 and Julie still hadn't read the votes. So I was like, okay, these questions that they show us are going to be like 2 seconds long, and they were. So, but I think that when people talk epic, they're probably talking really the end result of the episode is probably the epic part. All right, time to stop at my favorite gas station. Oh, is he about to take my spot? Sir, sir, are you going to the left or right side? Okay, that just annoyed me. Pick your station and stand by it. All right. Sorry to hear that, Sam. What a way to start your commentary in here, but I'm sorry to hear that nonetheless. So that was the main thing that I wanted to uh, shoot. That was the main thing that I wanted to discuss. But the main thing I wanted to discuss was the Venmo thing. But in terms of the general thoughts of the season, like Ashley's win leads us to like another Taylor Hale type of debate, not in a sense of not in the sense of the way Taylor won or the reasons Taylor won, but I was watching a little bit. I watched maybe half an hour of Rob Has a Podcast breakdown before I fell asleep last night, and they had Josh Martinez on there. Josh Martinez, whatever. But they made the specific comparison of Paul and Josh, which I made too on my own live before I heard them say that. And he said that you could see somewhat of that comparison. Obviously, no two victories are exactly alike, and his was a one-pointer, and hers was a landslide where she only got a vote from where Morgan only got Vince only got a vote at all because Morgan was worried about his little heart getting crushed. Morgan was worried about crushing his little heart by getting a unanimous vote against him. She literally told Sharon that she knew that Ashley was winning by a lot, and she knew how much it would crush him to not get any votes. So she said that's the only reason she voted for him. Actually, funny enough, I just remembered that Taylor's was not unanimous either because of Turner. I'm like, why not? Let me just go not to vote just because it doesn't matter anyway. It's just inconsequential anyways. But yeah, when we have people with two very different styles sitting next to each oh, this person is a deserving winner, this person's not a deserving winner, whatever. So I've said before on record, on live, I've been like, in order to win Big Brother, Yeah, I was never muted on my end. But the irony of it all is that I remember the way that he was talking about Ashley this whole time. And he's like, Ashley has done nothing in this game. I'm not even worried about Ashley. Whoever sits next to Ashley wins, and there's nothing to worry about with Ashley. Blah blah blah. Ashley, Ashley, Ashley. The irony is that she did something. She sat next to you. She sat next to you, and she beat you 6-1, bro. Oh man, that was some irony. That's some irony right there. The person that you were not worried about ends up as the person who takes you out. The person who you had no fear in your heart about is the person who takes you out 6-1. Masterclass. She cooked him. Uh she cooked him worse. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's about equal as how much Taylor cooked Monty, but his final speech versus her final speech, no contest. Anyways, I'm at work. We'll talk more later. I'll probably jump on after I'm able to watch a few more. I'm probably gonna watch some more of the exit interviews at work, and then see what it does, and see what there is to talk about, and see maybe if we get anything about the drama, the post party, if we hear anything more about the Kelsey stuff, whatever the case may be. But in the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Morning Star Gator, thank you, Shanna, and wondering if Brendan told Rachel about Ava. Probably by now. Okay. Talk to you soon.